All right, so moving on, we're going to be sanding this walnut top from 80 all the way to 240 grit, and then back down to 180 before applying some finish. Okay, so 80, 40, 80. We are doing something about this. My name is Patrick. This is Risingsaw Woodworking. If you've been watching any of the videos of the channel early on, you'll see that we have been slowly making things better, such as these poorly constructed drawers, which operate just fine. Now, what we're doing today is going to be a solution for our sandpaper. And it's going to be a band-aid fix because eventually all 7 of these cabinets are going to be filled with drawers. I'm going to take a look at my scraps, take a look at what I can do to fix that. Hey, it's me. I'm back in the tea corner, and if I'm looking a little purple, it's because I have water and not tea, and it's cold. The first thing we're going to do is the rails for the drawers to slide on. They don't need to extend the whole way back, so I went with around 10 inches. Then I planned where I was going to put them and how much space I would need. My original plan to have it on the right side isn't going to work, so we will put it on the bottom left, leaving an empty space still for some tossable knickknacks. Next, I cut the rails to 10 inches roughly and started working at attaching them to the cabinet walls with some brad nails. This is one of those times where I wish I had a few more hands, but I make do. Now I have all 4 rails on. It's time to measure out the drawer bottom. This is probably my favorite way to make shop drawers. It's very easy and it gets the job done nicely, and there's no hardware. Over to the table saw, I set it to 16¼ inches roughly. Brush away some of the dust and cut. And then I cut it again. And test the fit, and it's perfect. So I start cutting my sides to width, 4.5 inches. Okay, most of them are 4.5 inches. And then we cut them to length on the miter saw. Oh man, I think I stopped recording. Oh shoot. Yeah. Well, we're done. You probably didn't see me put it together or anything, but so essentially, as you guys can see, we now have a much better solution for our sanding discs. If you guys enjoyed this video, which I hope you did, and you want to see more just astonishingly creative projects, you know, unfathomable things, you can find more on my channel. And the organization of this, it's like, I need a 120, boom, 120, perfect, perfect. I need a 400, boom, 400, easy. I need a 60, 60, perfect. Okay, so this is plywood, but it's the exact same method. Spacer block and then some brad nails in from the bottom for the side pieces, and then the back has brad nails in from the side and the bottom. And the front, it's just nailed in from the front, and I forgot to film that the first time around too. I'm really good at this. And now it's time to sort my sanding discs. Okay, before we move on, the last 7 days, I have gained 204 subscribers. And I know when you look at it, we're still small fish. But it's the first subscribers that are the most meaningful. And they make the biggest difference. And if you're not subscribed, and you're enjoying this content, consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. It brings me closer to my goals. Now get going and enjoy the rest of this video. Now the last thing to do is make segments for the sandpaper. So I have 13 different sizes, so I'll need 14 segments to make it even, which, well...
Right. Let's do the math.
Okay, let's do the math. We have 6 spacers. They are 7/16. No, they're 11/16 each. That's 4 1/8 of an inch. And our total length is 11 1/4 minus 4 1/8 of an inch gives us 7 1/8 of an inch. Our spacers need to be 1 inch. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, so I set my table saw to 3 inches. And I cut my 6 separatist boards, separator boards, the boards that keep my sandpaper from cross-contaminating the other sandpaper. Next, I measured out how long they need to be and cut all 6 at one time. Check to see if they would fit, and then set up my miter saw to cut the 1 inch spacers. Roughly finding the center with my eye, I lined up the spacers squarish and used brad nails to put them together. Using a 1-2-3 setup block, I was able to get an even 1-inch space between all the dividers. I ran out of air though, so I had to hammer some in. Next, I measured out the cabinet again so we can hang our sander up neatly. I marked a scrap plywood and cut it to that. Before shrinking it down in the table saw and adding some pocket holes. 4 will be fine. Then I need the hanger part, so I pre-cut that and pre-drilled and attached some screws. But for some reason the sander wouldn't stay up. So I needed to cut a few more pieces to create a lip or a catch. I then attempted to pre-drill those and get them attached before moving on to the cabinet. Using my music hammer phone as a level, I got it nice and square. And I hung all my Bosch tools. Should go in this spot, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.